of streamline of movement within the airport area, considering the VIP movement we have, coming into Lagos and exiting Lagos at this time. It's going to be an event, starting from today till Thursday. That's the ECOWAS Summit. So within Victoria Island, also Ikoyi axis, we have travel advisory for those of you aiming to connect that part of town. But generally, things are taking shape, looking a lot better. Ikeja underneath the bridge is still very busy with the backlog on Mobolaji Bank, Anthony. Please have that at the back of your mind. All right, I'll take a short break to hear a message from our sponsors, and when I return, Women on Wheels starts.
My people follow others, then we choose Toyota. If not comfort and style, Toyota gets on boku. Spare parts we call the day, and the day easy to maintain. I drive go west, I journey go south, travel go east, I talk go north. My shows is many Toyota motor for road. Motor is strong and it dey reliable. Toyota. Toyota. Hey, just stand getting down for Nigeria.
This our market don't turn wahala. Everywhere just scatter. Peace of mind don't call, kuku day. Small rain like this, everywhere don't dirty. How person go take same market for this kind place? You sef dey feel am abi?
Mama T, better to read our land. Platinum Shopping Complex for Joe. Now the new levels, the shop stand everywhere clean, lights dey, security now 247, and correct customers go they come buy things. Just drop 7.5 million naira first. Make you use them secure your own shop and your own future.
Time they go. No let your mates buy all the shops finish. Go www.platinumlagos.com now or call 0916 997 2284 or 0916 997 2287 now.
Now, Mama T, you don't go rush pay.
Now who do they carry last my sister?
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I mentioned earlier that the roads are looking very, very good. And yes, you are listening to Women on Wheels. It is the Children's Day edition. My guest on today's edition of the show, yes, she's someone's child also, right? So it is Happy Children's Day to all of us. She is a professional human resource practitioner with extensive HR generalist and administrative experience of over 6 years. A highly focused HR business partner, team member, and lead, whose thorough and precise approach to employee relations and management has yielded excellent results. An experienced recruitment specialist with over 200 recruitment under her belt. She has worked in various capacities such as corporate administration, talent acquisition, recruitment, payroll administration, health insurance, pension management, performance administration and management, employee relations and management. I mean, we can go on and on. Project management. As the head of corporate services and administration at Strom Infrastructure Investment and Management Limited, she manages the human resources and administration department, provide an enabling environment and a welcoming culture, put in place policies that reflect the company's standard and ensure adherence to such policies. Over the years, the experience she has gained and the mentorship received in human resource space has prepared and positioned her for incredible opportunity to serve as project director on Strom's Hill Station Revitalization Project, which started in 2024, as well as serve as a coordinator for the Strom Foundation, which aims to empower people, build communities, and not just infrastructure. My guest on the show tonight is Awoyomi Oluwadamilola. Good evening to you, Oluwadamilola.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very
Thank you very
well.
much for having me.
Very well. It's good to have you on the show. First, can we meet Oluwadamilola Awoyomi? Aside all of these that you have on your resume.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, really. And happy Children's Day to all the children out there.
Okay.
My name is Awoyomi Oluwadamilola. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm also a career woman. For over 6 years now, I've been in the HR space, working as an HR generalist. I've worked in different organizations, and right now I serve as the head of the corporate services and administration team at Strom Infrastructure.
Okay.
I also serve as the project director for the Hill Station Revitalization Project,
Okay.
and as well as also serve as the coordinator for the Strom Foundation. Basically, my day-to-day is to wear many hats and try as much as possible to keep the work culture at Strom Infrastructure, while also ensuring that my project management duties are attended to as well. So in a nutshell, I'm an HR generalist. I have over 6 years experience in the HR space, and I'm trying as much as possible to maintain the career aspect of my life, while also ensuring that my role as a wife and a mother doesn't suffer.
Okay.
So that's it in a nutshell.
I'll take it from where you, stopped, a proper blend between a career woman and being a mother. How do you achieve that?
Well, I try as much as possible. God has blessed women with the ability to juggle different things, wear many hats, and be multitasking, basically. I try as much as possible to manage every aspect of my role as a career woman and as a wife and a mother, and to ensure that each aspect are well tended to, because when one suffers, it becomes increasingly difficult to manage work aspects when the home front isn't settled. So basically, I just try as much as possible to manage all the aspects and ensure that none is suffering, so to speak.
You see, this is Women on Wheels, and one of the major reasons why we put together this program is to identify some of the, areas women suffer in our society, and how we can correct the anomaly, how we can, emancipate women and get them back on track. And I am glad that you're in that space. One of those very crucial departments in an organization that really puts women at the edge. Permit me to use that word. Now, as a woman in the HR field, let's talk about some of the major challenges women encounter, being a career woman. You tell me what you have noticed in the last 6 years of practicing as a HR professional.
I was having a conversation with a colleague recently. I wouldn't call it an argument. It was more like an enlightening conversation, where I was mentioning that a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, got a role outside the state she was residing in with her family, and she basically had to decline the role because her husband wasn't on board. So that's not to say things like this don't happen, but I think above everything is to have a supportive partner.
Okay.
Women oftentimes have to let go of the career front just to be sure that the home front is well catered to. But I believe with a supportive partner, you can manage both aspects, have your career, at the same time also be a wife and a mother. It just basically boils down to the support that you have. A lot of people, a lot of women do not have that support on the home front. As such, they cannot pursue their career. They cannot give their work all it takes, So that support is very critical for a woman to be successful at home and at the workplace. I think that's one of the things that is lacking right now. That's one of the things that women lack right now, and things we need to speak about.
All right, then. So basically now, what we're saying now is you really need to get, your spouse on board before you can make a bit of a career progression. How then are we as women supporting other women, knowing that this is a patriarchal society? When a man says no, it is no. So what happens to emancipating the women?
Yeah, so I often really like to advise my fellow women in the career space that the support comes from the husband. Yes, they can get that. But how well they are able to manage, show that they are able to manage, juggle both aspects, is what gives them that support. Now, if you have proven over your track record that you are not able to juggle both aspects successfully, then it becomes difficult for your partner to trust you. But when you are able to manage, you know when work is work and you know when you are home, then it's easy for your partner to support you. So it also boils down to how well women are able to support each other in the workspace. When you have a female boss, she understands the circumstances you are in because she's basically having the same challenges. But being able to show that you understand what your fellow woman is going through and that you can offer assistance wherever necessary to ensure that she doesn't, she's able to manage her tasks effectively, it goes a long way, really. Because in the workspace, you have HR practitioners, women in HR that practice HR without empathy, you know, and then people at work, men and women alike, now suffer because their HR is not empathetic to what they're going through. That's not to say that you have to, you do not have a stance, right? Having a stance doesn't mean that you should not show empathy when the need arises. So an empathetic HR goes a long way in the workplace to ensure that, you know, women are supported and they have a work-life balance, so to speak.
As the head, as someone in that space, HR, you know, oftentimes you guys are usually part of the board, you're part of the management. Tell me, do you think women are bossy? Do you think women are difficult to deal with at the home of affairs?
I don't think women are difficult to deal with.
Why?
I do not think so. I'm a woman. I'm also a career woman as well. I do not think, I think its personalities differ, right?
Okay.
Men can be difficult as well.
Okay.
It's not a gender thing.
Okay.
It's more of a personality thing. So you can't boil it down to women being difficult. Individuals, personalities can be difficult. Their gender doesn't women are wonderful creatures. They are empathetic creatures. They are compassionate people naturally. So it's circumstances that now make them or shape their behavior. So I don't think women are generally difficult. I don't think women are difficult in the workplace. I think personalities differ.
All right, Oluwadamilola, let's look at what you as a person, what you are doing, your landmark impact as a HR professional. You know, you interact with people every day. Let's look at some of the landmark achievements you've been able to, you know, achieve in the last 6 years in impacting people.
So over the course of the past 6 years, I've had the privilege to work in different organizations, multinationals and like local companies alike. And one thing is constant. You meet people from different states, different languages, different background, different ethnicity. And Nigeria is so diverse that you cannot but meet people from different diversities in the workplace. You can't have a company that has only Yorubas, for example, as staff. You can't have a company that has only, even in the north, you can't have a company that has only Hausas or Fulanis as staff. You would always meet diverse cultures, different people, different languages in a workplace. I've had the opportunity to work in a multinational that had people from China. I've worked with people from Zambia, different companies, Mauritius as well. And one thing is constant. The workplace culture is very, very important.
Okay.
If you do not have an healthy workplace culture, then there will be clashes from different people. How well you are able to manage people from different diversities, there would always be differences. But how well you are able to manage those people as an HR practitioner goes a long way. It goes a long way in creating the culture, the workplace culture, which is very, very important when you have people from different diversities in the same space. So it's almost like a marriage. You can't have a man and a woman coming from different homes come together without clashes once in a while
Sure.
when they're newly married. But how well you're able to bridge that gap between those people makes a huge difference.
All right, Lagos, Nigeria. You must be wondering who I have been engaging. I have Awoyomi Oluwadamilola, the head corporate services and administration at Strom Infrastructure Investment and Management Limited. Yes, for those of you who would like to be a part of the program, you can put a call through on 0809 9120 or 0915 387 777, preferably 0915 387 777. Damilola just mentioned now that being difficult at the helm of affairs has got nothing to do with the gender. I mean, you have them in your offices, HR managers, HR directors. Should you have any concern, you can put a call through. Let's put it to her. Let her, attest or debunk your claims. All right, Lagos, Nigeria. Damilola, let's move on now. Basically, walk me through your path, some of the high moments for you in the last 6 years and the low moments.
All right, thank you so much. So I have had highs and lows, just as every other person has. At some point in my career, I think sometime in 2022, my then HR manager just called me and said, she had a physical conversation with me, and she was like, Dami, I'm traveling out of the country in the next 1 month, and the directors asked who I will be handing over to, and I told them basically that I would be handing over the affairs of the company to you. And it was like lightning struck. I was dumbfounded. I was like, I was in a panic. I was like, how do I handle this? A company that has over 700 employees, handling HR at that level. At that time, I was just an HR officer. And I was like, how do I do this? And she basically had to come in and say, Dami, I know you can do this. You've been working for over 5 years. You've basically milked everything I've been teaching you. I know you can handle it. Just calm down, take a break. You can do it. I'll support you. Even while I'm away, I'll support you. If you need anything, you can put a call through and I will guide you. And, in less than a month, she left and I was all alone and doing everything. And I basically just had to pick myself up and give myself a pep talk and tell myself, Dami, you can do this. You don't have any option. You don't have anybody to rely on right now. It's just you, and you have to learn on the go. And I did it. I worked there for another year and a half, almost 2 years after, and I was successful in my role. And when I was leaving the company, my director then, he told me, Dami, I wish you didn't have to go, but I just want to wish you are like a daughter to me now, and you handled things when Mo left, and you did it excellently, and I'm proud of you, and I wish you didn't have to go, but I understand that as a child, you're stepping out and you're growing your wings, and you need to learn and move on, but I'll be so sad to see you go. And that was just like a turning point for me. It was an high moment for me, as well as, at that point when I got that responsibility, I was like at my lowest. I was like, what do I do? How do I move on? But from there, it's been there's no way you experience growth without it being uncomfortable. Growth isn't always comfortable, right?
Sure.
It's not always easy.
Easy, yes.
But it's from that you just take on new responsibilities and you grow. It's that way that you build resilience. You become innovative. Your instincts are sharpened basically, and I'm grateful that I had that opportunity. I'm grateful that even though that period was a bit of a discomfort, it was overwhelming, but I'm grateful that I went through that phase, because
Yes.
it just basically it was just like a news flash to myself that you can do anything once you set your mind to it.
All right, we already painted a scenario of how employees view HR personnel, right? Especially women. Now let's turn the table around. As a HR person, HR manager, tell me what it takes. Tell me what it feels like managing humans, especially women.
I think that I just feel that it's how well you're able to understand the people you're managing. That's what makes it easier. Managing people is difficult. There's no doubt about that, because you meet different people with different personalities. Each person has their own problems, their own issues, their own challenges, and they kind of project that in the workplace. But it just takes understanding these people, understanding what makes them tick, what makes them happy when they are sad, just trying to diagnose what their issue is and trying to just walk them through it. It's basically like you're managing how other people react to situations, how they adapt in the office, you know. But understanding them is very, very paramount, because if you don't, you just have people at their necks and an HR that doesn't even have an idea of how to manage these people or how to make peace, basically. But when you understand them, you understand how they think, what makes them think, what motivates them, basically, then it becomes easy to manage them or to get the best out of them.
All right. The theme for the 2025 Children's Day in Nigeria is tapping the untapped natural treasure. This theme highlights the immense yet often ignored potentials of the Nigerian child. What's your position on this theme, and how can all the stakeholders, such as parents, schools, guardians, government, discover and deploy these potentials appropriately for a better future?
Thank you very much for this question. This question really speaks to me as a mother. I have 3 kids, you know, and so it has become very imperative for me to try to understand them, and not just to expect them to obey me, but to understand how they feel about certain things. Children oftentimes are quiet. You don't know what they think. You don't know what they feel, except as a parent, you make it intentional to understand your child. You know, it's the responsibility of every parent. My personal responsibility to ensure that my kids are nurtured emotionally, spiritually, physically, you know, to help guide them and to unlock their potential. And that's what every parent's responsibility. You know, every child is unique, every child is different.
Yes.
You can't expect your first child to act like the second one or the third one, or any of them to act the same.
Yes.
They have different potentials. They have different things that make them tick.
All right.
You know, and it's the responsibility of parents to nurture that curiosity that your child has, not just shut them down when they try to ask questions about things, or when they have an opinion about things. You don't just expect obedience from them blindly without them questioning the status quo. They do that at times.
All right.
But it's not because they resent you. It's just because they are trying to understand the circumstances with which you are demanding that obedience from them.
That is the generation of children we're raising now. Oluwadamilola, we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll just take that as your parting shot. I must say a very big thank you to you for coming on the program tonight. I'm afraid we're running out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was great. Thank you for having me. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you. All right, this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of the show. I mean, I had an amazing time with Awoyomi Oluwadamilola, the Head Corporate Services and Administration at Strom Infrastructure Investment and Management Limited. And of course, this program has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited. Women on Wheels has been produced by Ajose, Oluwale, and Funmilade, Akingbagbohun. Our executive producer is Taiwo. Maximum shout out to Oluremi Aloko. Big thanks to Victor Terry. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. This program makes a return next week, Tuesday at 7:30. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Lagos.